I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to.
Hello healthy moms, good day wherever you are. It's always a pleasure speaking with you ladies. I am Livella and welcome to Inyango, the place which teaches you simple ways to become a healthy mom. Today I'm going to be telling you why processed food is bad for you. If you're new here, please try to subscribe and put on the notification bell so each time we upload a video you should be the first to know. And if you've been here and you've been watching us and you've been liking our videos, we want to say a very big thank you. Hope you put on the notification bell because that is the only way you will be notified when we upload a new video. Thank you once more for being here. So let's get right into the video. I'll talk about firstly some characteristics of whole foods, processed foods and minimally processed foods, and then get into why processed foods are bad for you. I'll talk about whole foods. Some of the characteristics of whole foods are: 1, they are still in their natural form, like apples and bananas. Those are foods which are still in their whole form. Number 2, they are nutrients dense. Number 3, no fiber has been removed. For example, a whole food like mango, when it is done as mango juice and the fiber squeezed out of it to make the juice lighter and easy to drink, the chaff which comes out of the mangoes, those are fibers which are being thrown. That's why I advise you so much to stick to smoothies, mango smoothies, where you blend in everything and you take in everything. So no fibers are being removed, no nutrients are being removed. You are taking a minimally processed product when you take maybe mango smoothie, like the one which I made on our Facebook channel. If you've not watched that video yet, I'm going to leave a link to the video in our description box so you can see how to make a healthy drink, which is mango smoothie. Now, talking about minimally processed foods, some of the characteristics are: most of the nutrients are still intact and it has just been slightly processed. An example of this is frozen fruits. Like, you slice your fruits because you don't want them to get bad so soon, and you put them maybe in a pack and then you put them in your freezer. So when you remove them from the freezer, they are minimally processed because it has stayed in the freezer for some time and most of the nutrients are still there, but few of the nutrients have gone away because of that process in which it has gone through. Next, I'll talk about heavily processed foods. 2 of the main characteristics of heavily processed foods are: most of the nutrients have been removed and there are too many additives in processed foods, like sugar, color, flavor, preservatives, because the food companies make processed foods to last long and make them in very huge quantities, since their main aim is profit maximization. So they try to make as much at a time as they can so that they can make as much profit as possible. But processed foods aren't the best for you. I would say, I'm not telling you to cut down on processed foods totally, because it's going to be extremely difficult, especially for people who are in a more developed world. It will be really difficult, but one step at a time you can obviously get there. Now I'm going to be telling you some reasons why processed foods are not the best for you if you are thinking of living a healthy lifestyle. The first reason why processed foods are not good for you is processed foods have a lot of added sugar. For example, if you're eating the normal fresh tomatoes and then you look for something which is a processed food like maybe ketchup, it is a bunch of maybe color, sugar, and so many other things. A lot of processed foods which have been made have a lot of sugar, and sugar isn't so good for us. So you have to try and limit the intake of processed foods because of all this added sugar. If you want to be sure what I'm talking about, take any packet of processed food and you're obviously going to see some grams of sugar which have been added. Even the things which you think shouldn't have added sugar, yes, they do. For number 2, processed foods have a lot of additives. They add a lot of things into processed foods which are not healthy, like sugar, color, preservatives to keep them longer on the shelf, flavor, and so many other things which I might not be able to mention. Processed foods are not the best for you. These things can cause some types of cancer and many other diseases to our bodies. So we have to try as much as possible to stick to the fresh, natural things which God has given us. For number 3, processed foods are mostly low in fiber. Fiber helps us in digestion, thus preventing constipation. So imagine you taking something which almost all the fiber has been removed. For number 4, processed foods are low in vitamins and nutrients due to the processes which have been carried out to make them the way they are. Another reason why processed foods are not good for us is processed foods are associated with many diseases, many heart diseases and other things like obesity. I know when talking to African moms, they don't really see obesity as a thing because in most countries and most tribes in Africa, they see a woman who is fatter or bulky as a woman who is well taken care of. But as far as you've passed your ideal weight, you are somehow obese. Another reason why processed foods are not good for you is processed foods are addictive. You can easily get addicted to eating processed foods. It's not normal for you to maybe eat 10 to 15 potatoes at once. But if you're eating potato chips, I bet you could finish a packet and ask for another packet. This is because those foods are made to taste that irresistible. So you can eat and you eventually don't even feel full, and you're just eating a bunch of food which is not healthy for your body. Another reason is whole foods are full of nutrients while processed foods are full of calories. Processed foods are just full of calories which do nothing to our bodies but just help us to get fat and get many diseases. So we should try as much as possible to avoid processed foods, no matter what the food company tells you, because the main aim of the food company is to make profit. And that's not the main aim for you. The main aim for you is to be healthy and live long. When you eat processed foods so much, your taste buds even start to change, and when you eat natural foods, they start to taste kind of blur, like it's not as sweet as they're supposed to be or something. So we have to try as much as possible to stick to natural foods because they are in their natural form and they contain a lot of nutrients. So ladies, try as much as possible to stay away from processed foods. I talk about this to mothers because I believe we are the foundation of our homes, and if we are eating right, then it's easy to make our family members and our kids eat right. If we are living longer, it will be easy to make our kids and our families live longer. On this note, from one mother to another, I would like to say, please let's stay away from processed foods because they aren't good for us. Let's build healthy moms with healthy homes. Thank you so much for watching and do have a beautiful day.